I do want to acknowledge that Nancy Sutley is with us today from the White House. She's the chair of the CEQ at the White House. And Nancy, thank you for being here. I appreciate the opportunity to have you participate in this. And also I want to acknowledge my wife Christy, who's joining us today as well. I'm excited about today's panel, and I'm looking forward to a robust conversation and discussion today. Yesterday, the USDA released the effects of climate change on U.S. ecosystems, a report which, by the way, is in the back if you'd like to have a copy. It's a report that identifies the effects of climate change on our natural resources and ecosystem services in the U.S. over the last several decades. Based on a wealth of source and review literature, the report concludes that climate change is already affecting and impacting U.S. agriculture, land resources, water resources, and our biodiversity, and will continue to do so. The report identifies the effects climate is having and is expected to have on our natural resources and our ecosystem services in the U.S. over the next several decades. They include the fact that grain and oilseed crops will mature more rapidly, but increasing temperatures will increase the risk of crop failure, particularly where precipitation decreases or becomes more variable. Horticultural crops, such as tomatoes, onions, and fruit, respond to a greater degree than grains and oilseed crops to climate change due to their high sensitivity, quality, and appearance to climate factors. Livestock mortality will decrease with warmer winters. However, this will be more than offset by greater mortality in much hotter summers. Hotter temperatures will also result in reduced productivity of livestock and dairy animals due in changes in consumption and lower pregnancy rates. Weeds will grow more rapidly under elevated atmospheric CO2, extending their range northward, and are less sensitive to herbicide applications. Disease and pest prevalence will escalate as a result of shorter, warmer winters, challenging crops, livestock, and our forest systems. It is clear to us that climate change will affect agriculture and has already begun to do so. But it is also important to realize that agriculture has a tremendous capacity to not only limit its greenhouse gas emissions, but to act as a carbon sink. Through research efforts and program support, we are helping producers minimize their carbon footprint every day. A viable carbon offset market, one that rewards farmers, ranchers, and forest owners for stewardship activities, has the potential to play a very important role in helping America become energy independent, as well as in our efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. A response to climate change also represents a significant opportunity to create wealth and revitalize communities in rural America and across the globe. Such an effort in the United States is a key component to our efforts to revitalize and rebuild our rural communities, as offsets create income opportunities. Legislation which has passed our House of Representatives and which is under consideration in our Senate will create such a market for carbon offsets that can be sold by America's farmers, ranchers, and landowners to businesses that are large carbon emitters. A USDA analysis of the legislation shows that it will be a net gain for American producers. The study shows that the House Climate Bill would increase farm expenses, but they would be offset by revenue from carbon offset markets, estimated initially at $1 billion a year in the near term and as much as $15 billion in the year 2040. Markets for environmental services, such as greenhouse gas offsets, will also reward and inspire innovation. Today, I'm lucky to be joined by two farmers and a leader from America's dairy industry who have a long track record of that sort of innovation that will lead to the transition towards agricultural production that is less carbon intensive. But they are representative of the changes that many American farmers have been making for years in reducing their energy needs. Energy intensity, defined as energy consumption per dollar of total output, has steadily declined in America over the past 50 years due to gains in energy efficiency and increased yields. Today, America's farmers use half as much energy per dollar of total output as they did in the late 1970s. Let me repeat that. Today's American farmers use half as much energy per dollar of total output as they did in the 1970s. And recently, more and more American farmers are taking active steps to limit their carbon footprint. According to a recent agriculture resource management survey, over 524,000 operators, representing a quarter of all American farmers, have taken some action to reduce fuel or fertilizer use. They reduce fuel use by regularly servicing engines on their farm equipment, by reducing the number of trips over a field, and cutbacking on the quantity of fertilizer applied. In my travels as Secretary of Agriculture around the United States, I have seen many farmers who are pursuing other options as well. They're helping run their operations with methane capture by burning corn stover in their grain dryers and using solar and wind energy. This event is an opportunity to hear directly from farmers and those in the industry who understand and practice these common sense solutions. These people are out in front in their efforts to address climate change. I hope they'll share their views on emerging market opportunities for renewable energy and greenhouse gas abatement in promoting wealth and job creation in rural communities. I believe that it's vital that Americans demonstrate in our domestic approach to climate change how agriculture and forests can produce real and lasting benefits for both landowners and the climate. But we must also do more to address climate change and our commitment to addressing climate change. So today, I'm proud to announce that USDA and dairy farmers across the United States are announcing that we are entering into an historic agreement to help accelerate the development of manure and energy systems and to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We know that anaerobic digesters that convert animal manure into electricity are a powerful renewable resource. One 700-head dairy herd can power 200 homes in America. Yet currently, the United States is only utilizing the dairy power of 2% of its farms that can serve as candidates for profitable and sustainable sources of energy. The U.S. dairy industry, by virtue of the Memorandum of Understanding that we signed today, has committed across the industry spectrum to a 25% reduction in greenhouse gases by the year 2020. USDA can and will support this goal through program modifications, added program enhancements, and better marketing of anaerobic digesters to dairymen. Although USDA operates programs that support these steps, particularly anaerobic digesters, less than 150 have been funded to date. Today's agreement will take many far-reaching steps and common sense improvements to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions associated with the dairy industry and its supply chain. For example, we'll look for ways to fund nutrient management components of a digester system with conservation funds and electricity generation components with our renewable energy dollars. We'll look to provide digester projects with a higher ranking in our competitive application process. We'll work to address the timing of our programs to better match the construction season and reduce the time needed to get digester projects completed. We'll jointly cooperate with our dairies to undertake a major marketing and public outreach effort to U.S. dairy producers across America to ensure that they are aware of the opportunities and benefits associated with greenhouse gas reduction practices on their farms. And we'll also step up our efforts in research to develop better scientific recommendations on ways that greenhouse gas emissions associated with dairies can be reduced. These actions that we're taking today will not only help mitigate climate change, but also provide immediate local environmental benefits and assist in reducing America's dependence on fossil fuel. I applaud the U.S. dairy industry for initiating and supporting these actions. And today we'll have the opportunity to see how those efforts to address climate change are already creating wealth in rural communities across America, demonstrating the commitment of America's farmers and ranchers to address the issue of climate change. And we'll have a discussion about the path forward so that agriculture is part of our climate change solution. So today, at this time, I'm going to sign the Memorandum of Understanding between the United States Department of Agriculture and the Innovation Center for U.S. Dairy, and date it today. And this will begin the process of a great partnership. And we'll be hand-delivering this to Erin Fitzgerald, who is the Director of Social and Environmental Innovation and Dairy Management, Inc. Erin, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks very much for this. Appreciate it.